LCS happened. We had ourselves a 3-1 series with TL versus TSM, and TL dispatched them in emphatic fashion in game number 4 before Cloud9 took down TL in a entertaining to watch best of 5. Pentakill came through. They had themselves a face melting performance over at the Greek Theater. What'd you think of the outdoor setting for this type of event? Because a lot of the time it's always indoors. Outdoors changes things up, Dom, a little bit. And I know it happens in Korea a little bit more or less, but what did you think of it, Dom?
So I actually was thinking about this more. I feel like the teams played like under the level that they would normally play at. And I think that a lot of it did have to do with like the environment. I don't think that the environment was like good at all for the players. I mean, if you just look at Zven, right? From game 1, he's like red. You know, he's like sunburnt red from playing. And I actually feel like that does like have this level of like there should be some level of comfort for the players like while playing so you can get like top quality gameplay. And I feel like the venue just didn't really match it. Like I don't like the playing outside like in the fucking heat for players if they're not used to it. I think that that's something that's just like it doesn't even change that much. Like, let's say that it was inside like an enclosed area where they are actually able to like see their monitors. We even heard Zven in an interview say that he like there was like a glare on the screen and it was hard to like read timers. I think anything like that should just immediately be like thrown out. Like that should be tested. If there's any type of effect on gameplay from the venue, I think that it's just not worth it. Like I'd rather watch the players in the fucking LCS studio and watch like a quality game than watch them outside without fans anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I thought the same thing. Once I heard that apparently like sunlight was actually coming in or it was affecting the view, right? Didn't Zven complain about that or something?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It just seems like they sacrificed potential quality of gameplay in order to have something outdoors. But I mean, I feel like it's another missed mark. You know, like other regions didn't do this or need this, right? Like I don't know, it felt like it was something that no one actually asked for again. I mean, I felt like it just missed.
The advantage would be if there were fans there. Like I feel like that's the advantage of like having this outdoor thing is like the outdoor feel. But like I've played in a situation like that and it's not comfortable. Season 2 Worlds actually had the same thing where it was like outdoor in a rotating stage and like it just felt really like off. You know, like you're just outdoors. There wasn't even like a covering at the season 2 one, so you're like afraid of fucking like birds like shitting on you while you're playing, and then you got like Koreans shitting on you in game at the same time. It's like it's really fucked up. So like for me, I would just much rather just see the players like in a situation where they can actually play their best, because I feel like we don't even get to like really judge them. Like I feel like the teams actually performed a lot worse because of it. I think it was more noticeable than people will give credit for it initially.
When this happened, let's say over at the other stadiums that they've played outside at, there's the booth, like an enclosed booth that usually has air conditioning, that usually has those things taken care of and thought of. And do you feel like maybe because they can't change the direction of the stadium, right? Like or the direction of the Greek Theater, the way that they had it set up, the seats were there in a certain position. So I feel like you just plan like, hey, the sun is setting on this side, so we're going to have them face away from that. So if it starts,
but isn't that complete RNG? How do you know which way the sun's gonna go? What? It's unpredictable. It's random at every time. Like, every day.
What?
So
all right. Yeah.
There was. I think we've done this show for a long time, Dom. A long ass time. That I think that was the first time where you got me with sarcasm, bro.
Yeah, no, seriously. That's the thing is like I like just being sarcastic. So then like half the people like are like, oh, that was pretty funny, and then the other half just think I'm fucking stupid. So you know, it is what it is. You know.
From the picks to the gameplay to the way that it ended. I mean, game 5. I watched the first 10 minutes. I thought the first 10 minutes was probably like the best thing of the entire series.
Yeah, it was the best thing of the entire.
It was,
yeah, for sure.
It was by far the best thing of the entire series. But like, I don't know. Like, I'm curious what the players thought. Like, I mean, I had Fudge on the stream after, right, to talk about the games. I mean, a lot of people felt the same way. And I feel almost alienated, right? Because when I see Twitter and I see Reddit and everyone's like, "Oh, the series was great. Like this finals was great," and all this other stuff, I'm like, "Fuck." It's not a good feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a good final. Like the first 4 games are bad, but then like you also have to. For me, I try to consider it more through like the player lens, where they came out like I think if Cloud9 played like they did in the first like 15-20 minutes of the first game, they should have just 3-0'd. But like when you think about like the mental toll of like Cloud9 probably thinks that they're like supposed to win. They're playing versus sub. They probably feel like they're way better, and then they start like underperforming in the series, and their drafts were a little bit off. Like the one thing that I really hated was just the draft in game 1, like matching the Kalista with the Seraphine with a Renekton. I feel like the whole like theme of drafts are like the way that a lot of these drafts are constructed, because I watch LPL, right, a lot, and they play a lot of Renekton too. And I mean, we're even seeing it like Dom1's playing Renekton mid. Like Renekton is a solid flex, but I think that like if you're gonna run it with Seraphine, Renekton becomes a low damage champion late game, and you kind of just use the Renekton to like get you through the early game, like have a strong point in the early game so that you can actually scale. But then they match it with a Kalista, where it's like, if you want to like go for that full center comp, then you need a different mid laner and you have to just run them the fuck over. But if you're gonna go with the Seraphine, I feel like you need to have a scaling AD. You need to have like at very least something like a Varus, like even a poke Varus or something. I mean, you probably can't go with that game because I believe they had a tank top or something, but it just you need a Varus at the very minimum, a Jinx. You need something that's going to scale, that's going to be able to do consistent damage later on, so you can win the game with the Seraphine. Like once the Seraphine gets strong, so I feel like when you look at the context of like the environment is dog shit for them, like the physical environment is bad. They can't play normally because of that. They're winning the first game, and there's like a huge draft blunder that happens with like the Kalista being picked later on. They end up losing that game, like throwing that game essentially, is definitely how it felt. It's like you're even though they did kind of get outscaled in a way, and they did kind of lose when they were supposed to, I'm sure from a player perspective, they felt like they threw the game. And then they're like and then they start actually playing worse in like the second game. I feel like you can kind of understand like why it started spiraling, you know? It's really hard to pick yourself up out of that.
This game was won. I remember, I mean, this was another part that I felt really gross about. This game was over, and both Vulcan and Blabber did something so fucking awful that like it's comparable to match fixing. It's like that kind of level.
That's
of
strong.
mistake. I don't know. No, well, obviously they're not match fixing, right? But like, I don't know if we have the clip ready for it, but it's the top lane play. Where
it's top lane play at 20 minutes, because I remember tweeting out this has to be one of the cleanest 20 minutes ever, and then I was like,
oh yeah, game 1. Mm-hmm. It's like where they all die, and then the enemy team just like
Yeah. But if you watch the decisions, you look at the minimap, you look at the gold, you look at everything that's going on. There's no fucking universe where you pretend that they're actually thinking about the actions that they're committing. Like, I mean, we'll see it in the clip as soon as the clip rolls, but it's just insane. Like,
Vulcan, it's loss of focus. It's loss of focus 100%. Like, they're just like, they're stomping the game.
But how do you have a loss of focus in game 1?
I feel like because of like the situation, like they get kind of like lost in like everything else. It's like, oh, like we're gonna stop this team. They have a sub. Like, oh, we're playing outside. Like we can't really like see. Like I think that the fact that they're in such like a foreign like situation and they're already winning, like it's just momentary, right? It's like, oh, like I mean, we're probably strong enough to win this fight no matter what. And I
look at the fucking minimap. Look at the minimap. All the jungle camps are coming up. Okay, there's no turret plates. There's no fucking turret plates. You need what? If 4 of you share that turret gold, you get 120 gold. You're gonna lose the fucking game over 112 gold. Are you kidding? Vulcan, no one can follow you. What are you doing?
This is really bad.
What the fuck are you doing? Now on the flip side, it's flash for flash. Victor doesn't have flash for dragon, right? But then everyone goes
keep
behind.
on committing.
This gets fucking better. Wait for Blabber in a second. This is the fucking icing on the cake. I mean, Renekton's gonna go back down to bot lane. Renekton should let the fucking turret die. Okay, so 112 gold on the turret. Makes no sense. Now it's going to come. Blabber's going to go down. Holy shit. Also, it's insane to me that even Armao is looking... Look, he's going to flash. What the fuck? They're both mad, man. Why is TL even looking for this in the first place? Why is Hecarim there? But then why the fuck does Blabber flash? Cloud9 gives away so many shutdowns this game. They give up so much EXP. The waves are now in favor of Team Liquid.
Yeah,
All of the
they
jungle
lose
camps
their
are respawned
TP
on both
too.
sides. They lose fucking everything.
What's the call there? What is the call there that possibly could be? Is it like, hey, I have TP, I can TP there, and Alphari's already ulted?
I mean, I assume it has to do something with the fact that Hecarim has no ult. So they like, I assume it's just like the simple Hecarim has no ult. Can we one shot this guy? Like we have Seraphine ult still. We have Callisto. Like they feel like they're stronger than they actually are. But like in reality, it's so unnecessary to go for this. Like especially when their Renekton is bot alone and the Sion is already rotating up. Like you already got the turret. Like the first play is bad, but I mean they like it's salvageable. And then the second play is significantly worse. Blabber flashing in is a lot worse.
So from my perspective, they're both fucking up. TL's looking for something that isn't possible unless Cloud9 consents, like in a really disastrous manner, right? Mm-hmm. Hecarim should already just be turned around and be on his camps. Like that's the most obvious fucking play in the world.
Yep.
There's nothing possible unless both people consent to suicide. That's ultimately what it is. But for some reason, Blabber flashes onto Hecarim, but there's no possible follow-up. And then my chat, so this was the fucking cherry on top. I'm with Crowny, and my chat's like, oh, it's just a different play style, or you know, Blabber just wants to play fast pace. No, you fucking moron, dude. It's just wrong. It's not play style. It's not a preference of fucking opinion. It is actually impossible for any of the Cloud9 champions to do anything, even if they were scripts.
But what if Blabber just felt like it? What if Blabber just felt like it was a good flash LS?
Oh, okay. Well, I mean,
that's
well
the Honda MVP.
I mean, he's trying to farm his flash usages. They're gonna come out with a stat with that one day.
Well, the thing is,
players flash 2,000 times.
This is what you don't understand is that lucidity boots actually like increases. The lucidity boots combo. It reduces your flash timer. So to get full usage out of it, you need to be flashing on cooldown.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Thanks so much for stopping by. Make sure to see what else is happening on VENN by looking through our news and videos.